Okay, story time. So, in a land not so very far away, once upon a time, there was a young lady, teenager, about 17, 18 years old, and she was going through a lot. Her mother had just recently passed, her single mom, and she was sleeping on a park bench because she was homeless. And she didn't sleep for 11 days straight because she had to kind of ensure her own safety at night. And after 11 days of no sleep, she became so sleep deprived that she had suicidal thoughts, she was depressed. So, knowing that she didn't want to kill herself, she signed herself into a hospital. And she was in this hospital, and they put her in the psych ward. Whenever you're suicidal, they consider that like a psychosis. And she was there for many, many weeks. And one day on a day pass, she wandered into a store that she had been into once or twice before. She was on a half-day pass, and she just went somewhere where she knew, like it was her old stomping grounds, basically. And the man in the store, he said, "Oh yeah, I remember you, and how you doing?" And she was like, not so good. And she told him that she was actually on a half-day pass from a psych ward. And he said, out of the blue, "Do you like kids?" And she was like, "I love kids." And he said, "Well, when you get out of the hospital, give me a call. Come back because I have a job for you." So she went back to the hospital thinking, wow, like, is that for real? Like, who would offer me a job? But about a couple of weeks later, when she was finally released from the psych ward, well, what happened was they had assessed her for 6 weeks and said, "You don't have schizophrenia, you're not manic, you're suffering from severe sleep deprivation." And she was like, "Yeah, I know, I told you that when I came in here." And they were like, "Okay, so the drugs didn't work, we're going to now do electroshock treatment on your brain." And she was like, only like 17 and a half or 18 or something, and she had the wherewithal to say, "I don't think so. No more Russian roulette with your drugs, and I don't want to do that." So luckily, she was able to sign herself out and leave. And I say that because if she had been signed in by a doctor, they would have had to have signed her out. But because she willingly went there asking for help, basically she wanted to be babysat because she did not want to kill herself, even though she was having all these terrible thoughts and hallucinations and everything from the 11 days of no sleep. She knew she had to get help, so she went there. But when she heard the electroshock therapy treatment, that's all they had left, she left. And the doctor said, "You'll be back." Not very enlightened or encouraging. Anyway, when she did leave and was released, she went back to that store. She had nowhere else to go. She had no home. And she just thought, I don't know, let's see if he was serious. So she wanders in and she says, "Do you remember me?" Really, that was very vulnerable, basically saying, "Did you really mean what you said?" And right away he said, "Yeah, I remember you. You're Mary Poppins. You love kids. And I have 4 kids and I want you to be my nanny." And I said, "I just got out of the psych ward, right? You remember, right?" And he said, "Yeah, I know. Just go up the street, tell my wife you're the new nanny." So I didn't argue. I walked up the street, I knocked on the door. She opened the door and I said, "Hi, I'm the new nanny." She said, "Great, come on in." That marked the beginning of a lifelong friendship and a complete and utter, total new trajectory of my life. Like, I right away was with a family, children, laughter, purpose. I had a place to sleep, a place to live, and I was surrounded by love and chaos every single day. And it really healed something in this traumatized young soul. Obviously, the girl I'm talking about is me. And I'm telling this story because that was an utter, absolute miracle. Like, I shudder to think what would have happened to me had he not seen me and really seen me. You know what I mean? Like, he's been asked before, why would you do that? You had, now he has 6 children, but 4 children, all girls. Why would you let a stranger into your home? You don't even know her. And he said, no, she's Mary Poppins. She would have put her body between danger and my children anytime if she had to. And he was so right. How he knew that about me. I loved, and I still love all those kids. I've been to all their weddings. I know all their children now. They're all grown up, and it's just an amazing, amazing story. And I consider this man like a hero of mine, which he doesn't know he's a hero of mine, but maybe he does. But right now he's dying, and I just, yeah, it's like the end of an era, and the world will never be the same without him in it. You know, his humor, his ability to just see the essence of a person, which he's amazing at reading people. And God, you know, he literally changed my life. I don't know what my life would have become. I was on the streets, I was not sleeping, and when somebody sees the real you, you know, and trusts you, and like he trusted me with his most precious children. They both did. And now they're my dearest, oldest friends. And I share this story not because he's dying, but because of how he lived and how he just literally adopted me through grace. And miracles like this happen every day. And we just need to be open to them. And so I just wanted to share this story because if you're like me and if you believe in energy and if you feel called to pray for him and his family, that he wouldn't suffer and that he would be comfortable during his transition, that would mean the world to me and his family, I'm sure. And I just wanted to share that beautiful story with you so that you might remember that no matter what your situation, no matter how hopeless you might feel, that there are angels walking amongst us, and miracles, they're for all of us. They're all the time, they're everywhere. We just need to be like a little child, open to them.